Welcome back to Nerd Wars, and you guessed it, the gender mob got another one. Report, Relogic's Terraria removed gender selection 13 years after release in most recent patch. The war on gender continues. Just when you think your game is safe, 13 years after release, bam. For those unfamiliar with Terraria, it's a popular pixel adventure game that allows players to dig, fight, explore, and build. It's definitely a popular game, people really enjoy it, and this is sad. So the source for this is the Steam curator list Woke and Censored Games Alert, which, well done setting that up. Shared side-by-side screenshots to Imgur of the character creation options in the game's 1.44 version and its 1.45 version. In 1.44, you got the gender symbol here, and 1.45, ooh, gender symbol's gone. Just go and pick your body type. Your pixel body type. So my question is, did they change the whole screen or did they just change the symbol at the top? The male symbol. That arrow is triggering. It reminds me of a wiener. It's more than likely this change is made to cater to the transmission movement. Yes, that's what this is about. That rejects the differences between males and females and believes, yes, Catholicism. Of course, we have Abby Smash from Last of Us Part 2. Alleged insiders saying all the things we just assume are being said. Basically, the transmissions still look ugly, so to make up for that, they have to make the women uglier, so there's less of a gap between them. Just normal leftist politics stuff these days. It's the new normal, guys. Yellow Flash has his secret inside source. I was told it was done to be ambiguous, to make everybody feel okay and included. They're purposely trying to walk a line here so that they don't offend queer people. That's what I was told. Now take that with a grain of salt. Yes, inside sources always with a grain of salt. So a little evidence here. Game is still popular, also out on console as well. But also the sort of game that the players probably will mind this change a bit less compared to like a Call of Duty making these sorts of changes. And to be fair, these sort of indie games is where if you're gonna be woke idiots in the indie games. But also still, stop it. 13 years later, stop it.
Get some help.
So obviously the response to this is you're making this all up, you're just imagining it. And also we would never cancel you bigots. So like the former games journalist I am, I did a little digging. By that I mean a couple of Google searches. We're the media now. So here on the Kotaku in Action subreddit, the almost official Gamergate subreddit, from 2 years ago, character creation, male and female, no longer an option. Now body type 1 or 2, looking for games that do not have this censorship. Male and female is no longer an option, since male and female can be considered offensive terms in the West. Somehow, yes, correct. I found this change pretty annoying as it's non-intuitive, correct. I know many consider this form of censorship to be insignificant. Oh, you're just imagining things, it's no big deal. I mean, it's a super big deal to us, but why are you making such a big deal about it? Weird. But it clearly is not if the effort is being made to implement these changes in the first place. Of course, this is the standard for Western games nowadays, but mainstream Japanese games have been hit with this censorship as well, correct. You think East Asian media is safe? DEI and ESG is coming for it. This is seen in the character creation of games like Elden Ring, Phantasy Star Online 2 New Generations, and Monster Hunter Rise. This game is interesting as the armor names in early updates of this game had male and female, but were later updated to be body type 1 or 2, probably at the behest of Western localizers. Also correct, 2 years ago. I wish I could tell this person 2 years from now Kotaku would be like almost about ready to be shut down or sold off to some idiot. A game that has not been hit with this is Tower of Fantasy, for now at least. It is a Chinese company, so can't be bullied by the West as much as mainstream Japanese games can be, which brings up the Hoyoverse boycott, attempted boycott, while they're making $100 million a month on like one game. But that's a Chinese company, and when people complain that the skin colors weren't the way they wanted them to be, they said, you're an idiot, this is fantasy, shut up and go away, which made them really mad, and when they went full boycott on it, didn't work so well. Once the Chinese games start going woke, that's... The communist studios are the ones not... Western studios are worse than the communists, more woke than the commies. So over here on Quora, I wanted to know, why do so many games not use the word male, female in the character creation screen anymore? And like Quora does, a bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with it. Why do you pick male or female? I pick female because I want to stare at female butt, not dude butt the whole game. But then we eventually get to Bert Turderson, HR guy at the National Health Service, the people who locked you down. He is in HR there. I can't think of a single example of this, and most of the examples of character creators from memory do have a male-female selector. It'd be helpful if this question came with examples. Well, I just gave them. because it otherwise looks like it's asking a question about a thing that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, bro. Chop your kid's balls off also does not exist. If it were the case that so many games are doing this, then good. Because it doesn't exist, but if it did, it'd be good. And then now they're in the stage that it does exist and it's good. And now we're quickly going towards it does exist, it's good, and it's mandatory or else prison. Good, because it seems like a very simple way to be more inclusive to gamers. Why do we need to do that? Also, character creators are all about providing players more options to generate characters, and removing gender labels works to that effect. I love Big Brother. We should just let the government decide who gets to have kids, and hell, even just take the mothers away. We'll have artificial wombs and Genesis chambers, and we'll make some of them stupid on purpose. They'll be the worker class. Brave New World is a great idea. Let's remove gender labels so we can be inclusive to gamers. And anyone who doesn't like it is disinformation bigots. So maybe we'll just have to put them in the pod prisons, and re-educate them. And then I read this one. Because asking a video game designer to decide what traits are male and what traits are female down to a detailed level, no, it's just a little, it's this, is sexist and transphobic at worst and frustrating to players at best. What are you, that, who, what, we'll learn who at the end. It's a game. Putting arbitrary restrictions on gameplay costs more resources than not, with no benefit. Adding male and female is extra work, so let's not add male and female. Let's just be non-binary. There's no benefit to doing the extra work for male and female, so let's just not do it. It just makes sense, TM, to let people do what they want. Well, what if they want to be male or female? Can we do that? No, we can't do that anymore? Well, that seems like one of our choices was taken away from us. And I thought character creations was about giving us more choices. And I want to be male or female, and I can't do that anymore? That's not very inclusive. Credentials. I am both a transmission and a video game designer. Who would have thunk it? Pronouns of bio. I still don't believe you, it's not happening. Alright, let's go to Axios, November 2022. Big video games are dropping old gender restrictions on character creation. Yes, because we need to have more options. If you want to be male or female, that option's being taken away from you. We need more options, as long as it's not male or female, because that might be offensive to the mobs. And who's this by? Oh, Stephen Totello, I can't remember. I believe he was the Kotaku editor-in-chief during Gamergate, if I'm not mistaken. And then here's Hogwarts Legacy, that super far-right game, I'm told. Oh wait, it doesn't have gender options. It has voice 1 and voice 2? And a transmission barmaid? Maid, is that a barmam? Barmam.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
Developers of some of the world's most popular video games, formerly most popular video games, are expanding the tools players use to create characters, because it's all about giving you more options, unless you want to be male or female. Downplaying gendered terms to appease a tiny little itty bitty minority. A very violent and dangerous and threatening and harassing minority, and untethering options for body types. Let's make them all fat black women. Voice and other characteristics from gender selection, because adding male or female is extra work or something. Why it matters. The shift is part of a trend by the industry to be more inclusive to a wider set of players by letting them see themselves in the games they play. Well, that's what Mackenzie told us at least, so, we believed it, and we ruined everything with DEI, because we were told it would appeal to a wider audience, but instead it appeals to no one. Such changes are making these games more welcoming to transmissions and non-binaries, and those who want to have such characters. I don't think many people who aren't those are going to be picking those characters. They also allow more deviation from gender stereotypes. Oh, what? World of Warcraft Dragonflight, which expands the blah 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 that launched into renames male and female terms and its character creator for body type 1 and body type 2. 2004 is when it launched. Activision Blizzard was about as woke as it got, and then Microsoft bought them. Can't wait to see how that turns out. Can't wait for body type to be deemed offensive. Earlier this year, EA's super woke The Sims 4, which plays out like a virtual dollhouse, began to let players customize pronouns. You forgot to add the part, well actually it probably hadn't happened at this point, where they added post-surgery chest scars to be inclusive. Square Enix, who would have guessed? Harvestella gives players 3 options for characters' gender, male, female, or non-binary. And we got upcoming Harry Potter game Hogwarts Legacy in the spotlight for its association, however distant, with Potter author J.K. Rowling, who has repeatedly made transphobic comments, just normal comments, if anything, just feminist comments. The game has such open-ended character customization tools that players can create transmission wizards or witches, so they Avada Kedavra themselves. Its character creator, shown publicly earlier this month, lets players choose body types and voices independently of each other, and it's really, really weird. It super doesn't match or fit. It's just like, yep, cognitive dissonance. Then lets them select without restriction whether their character dorms with wizards or witches. Yeah, makes sense. So apparently GLAD has an associate director of gaming, and she / probably him attributes this to, quote, the growing recognition of gender diversity in society, led by younger generations, our stupidest, least experienced generations. We should listen to them. Let the 16-year-olds vote. A game that requires players to choose between rigidly binary gender options, man or woman, so rigidly binary, simply no longer reflects the world that we live in. I certainly don't want to live in it. Game producer on Harvestella using gender-neutral pronouns takes a relatively small amount of effort, yet the positive impact is huge, sure, as it means you are making the effort to include everyone except for the people who want male and female. And our game is for everyone except people who want male and female, the vast majority of people. Red Sox's Jaron Duran apologizes for shouting anti-gay slur, heck, oopsie daisies. Who put that one in there?
I almost used the F word.
British Columbia venue cancels feminist event opposing gender ideology after pressure from LGBT activists. So a feminist who likes women, as they were for a very long time, women, was told by this venue, don't worry, we got your back, we're not going to cancel you. Like, okay, fine, I guess I'll put out where the venue is, puts out the venue, immediately gets canceled. Activists called and emailed Ambrosia incessantly, showed up at the venue, harassed staff, causing one young female to have what she described as a mental breakdown. The owner told us he'd been abused by these people. They vandalized the building, which alongside the mental breakdown, appears to have been the last straw. Tormented, stressed, and afraid, one could say terrorized, the owner canceled our event. He told us the stress of this ongoing abuse was too much. And that's what this is all about. They're not doing this to be inclusive. They don't want to get canceled by the gender jihadis. They lie and tell us we're all just imagining it and making it up. Tell me in the comments, do you think we are imagining this? If you think this is really happening, make sure you hit that like, consider hitting the subscribe. And this crap only lasts as long as we put up with it. Thanks for watching, and please follow the algorithm on your way out and support the channel by becoming a YouTube member.